Adeshimamba Moaha Emwakwaba Edba Green TV so emredu se de oman mafofo mu nsem ayaboaboa no se mufo nso agebre asemu se Green KASEƐ no kasem ni nsem biabeti ebi ene se omampanyi na nado danko AKUFO-ADDO ne dey or the African Continental Free Trade no edan no akwakoma AU for so mutumi enhwema bibia entumi enko nkan sanso so ene ne dey so omampanyi na nado danko AKUFO-ADDO hye aprobo ase wei ene nsem ena afopia mabeso mo se ewia prem to bre KASEƐ ewo Green TV so obotantim na nabna adepa MIDDAY afejebre na makase ne mu chechire mu ankasa Adeshimamba Moakwaba bi mesha KASEƐ na se dia mesha ase e de fi omampanyi na nado danko AKUFO-ADDO akache ne dey watumi e de African Continental Free Trade no adan no etumi e de akwakoma African Union Commission for se ne bebeboa amadwede ho nsem etumi akonkan esansa man be se edunu innumu de ebetumi ahwe ma bibia etumi akonkan se ne be ya sika ho entumi enkwatwe emfa mo bibiara.
I extend a hearty welcome, a word of welcome to you and all others, and I hope you're all enjoying your stay, the pandemic notwithstanding, amongst the people famed for their hospitality. When the African Union AU convened an extraordinary summit in Kigali, the capital of the Republic of Rwanda, on 21st March 2018, to adopt and sign the legal instruments for the establishment of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. There were many who did not believe African countries were ready to meet the required minimum threshold of 22 member state ratifications needed for the AfCFTA to come into effect. On 30th May 2019, a year later, after the minimum threshold was met, with Ghana and Kenya being the first to deposit on the same day their instruments of ratification with the AU Commission, the operational phase of the AfCFTA was launched as the agreement had become effective. A little over a month after this seminal event, we gathered in Niamey, capital of the Republic of Niger, on 7 July 2019, at the 12th extraordinary session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the AU, where Ghana was selected by her peers to play host to the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Indeed, for a country generally acknowledged as the pioneer of modern Africanism, under the dynamic leadership of our first president, Kwame Nkrumah, a country whose people made great sacrifices to spearhead the struggle for the liberation of the African continent from colonialism, imperialism, and the racist system of apartheid. This is the first time in our 63 years of nationhood and in 57 years of the founding of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, the precursor to the AU, that we have the responsibility and privilege of hosting an important Pan-African institution. So today is an auspicious day for Ghana, and on behalf of the Ghanaian people and their government, I express our appreciation once again to the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the AU for its decision.
African Union sem na emu nso no na Minister of Foreign Affairs and din any onmonyamfo Shelley Ayokobo twenso edbetu dwa sense shawodo your mampena na do dan KASEƐ edegu akwam no beboa man Ghana yankase betu akotonton no maye ewa mono ne se ne be man Ghana sika ho entumi enkwatwe emfamaye.
First Secretary General of the ACA Secretariat of the support of the government of Ghana, and in particular the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration in the operationalization of this African project for Africa's collective development. Our doors are widely open to you. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by wishing the AU Chair, the Secretary General, a pleasant stay here in our beautiful city of Accra. Thank you for your kind attention.
It is appropriate on an occasion like this also to pay tribute to the leadership of the African Union Commission and in particular the Department of Trade and Industry for the significant contribution they have made in bringing us this far on our path towards the establishment of the AfCFTA. In the same vein, I acknowledge the support provided over the years by other African institutions such as the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, the African Development Bank, the Afri-Exim Bank, and the regional economic communities. I wish also to recognize the invaluable contribution of my colleague, African Ministers of Trade, their senior officials, and members of the negotiating forum for shepherding to date the process of establishing the AfCFTA. On a more personal note, I've had the honor and privilege in and out of government of being very actively involved right from its inception in the design and development of the AfCFTA initiative. It is therefore a source of great joy to me that today we are taking a giant step forward towards realizing the dream and vision of the founding leaders of our continent to establish an African Economic Community. As you may be aware, the first major building block for the African Economic Community is establishing the free trade area for Africa, after which we will transition into a customs union before we finally get to our ultimate destination. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the case for an integrated market for Africa has never been in doubt, in spite of the skepticism that has been associated with it. The most developed regions of the world are, incidentally, the regions also with a high level of market integration. Regrettably, Africa still remains the least integrated region in the world. Less than 15% of Africa's total trade occurs within the region. The paradox of Africa being the richest continent and yet the poorest could be partly attributed to this unfortunate situation. Distinguished invited guests, the successful implementation of the AfCFTA will bring many benefits to our continent. First, it will increase the level of intra-African trade with the harmonization and coordination of trade within the continent. It is estimated that intra-African trade would increase by as much as $35 billion or by 52% per annum.
Omampanyina na do dankwa AKUFO-ADDO wahye aprobo ase na okoma ntema hodo ye wo man Ghana mu hase na project ahodo yo de hye nkrofo nsa no okwa akohwese so omunyina ye bi kama ho no ma na se bi ho nso na se bibi ho eno mu hia wasan so de aso abofom amomatumi ahya se na bi omo ho ebetumi ahom.
Information Minister Nidin ene Ora Opon Kwadwo Nkroma e de aba beto dwa se ene benada na chese August ne de to so dum woche e won fimpim nu ene aduonumu e na Ghana mampanyi Nana AKUFO-ADDO dankwa e de nani e betwe mu e wo Western region nyina ene se e ade a o hye ne probo ase ya eno e de nafu amakomako mienu ya odi nani etwem e wo Western region se ne be ya nyoma hodo na sempuntu ahodo a odigu akwan so no be kwakwahye se nkrofo anase nipetiti odi hye omsa no ometumi aye anase omunye anase ho asem no sen e na eko edi mom sanso so e na obesanso e de aso akwakobo fom se ne be ya enyuma ahodo no mbetumi ahyase na bibia akosototen e de amomanfo osanso to aso se e wo Western region ho no ma no e ya de omampanyi Nana AKUFO-ADDO dankwa e besanso ato akọ Regional House of Chiefs and Regional Executives Parliamentary Candidate and Takrady Constituency Executives Almo Edom New Patriotic Party Miche MPP Amanyoko no se ne be obetumi eni omedi ensawoso na nyoma hodo a omo hye nim so obetumi ahyehye so ewo abato nim anasa abato no echi se yeto omo so aba omo betumi aye ni nyina ama omanfo ho ahan omo ewo ho osanso eto ani nsemu se enyoma hodo aga na mampanyi ebekwakwahye ebi eye construction a eno ekoso ewo ajenyim ejam road osanso to ani nsemu se enyoma hodo aga na mampanyi bekwakwahye se nyimpuntuo no ekoyi anase enkoyi no ebi eye achenyim ejam road sanso eno obesanso atoso ewo esiama nkrofu road na wasanso edi nani atrem ewo jiwura enyase ya eno ewo wioso a eno soso sa kwan no bekwakwahye se omo aye anase omo nye se ne be ya impuntuo ahodo ya odi hyehyɛ so se oman Ghana sa fidie eyade a yakwantempo ahodo no obehye amasudwuma nyina no yetumi aye no wano kwakwahye se ni nyina no omanfo anase ni petiti odi hye omsa no omabo adwuma no anase omo anye ewo honum
Omampanyi dada John Dramani Mahama e de aba beto dwa se eyade a NPP Amanyoko no ensama hodo yo mo kan ye bohya hodo yo mo hyeye e won fimpinu nudu nsiem no enya de a chese metumi aye mu bia esanso ndo hwe amamuo we di a amamuo no ye chese bohya hodo nko e no mo hye promise for na se dan den na bohye e no mo hye oman Ghana na enso de ono de oba aba mu di a obehwe na bohye bia wa hye bia no so no watumi edidi so.
If we are happy with what has been going on, we can vote for it to continue. If we are not happy with what has been going on, then we must vote to make a change. And I believe that many Ghanaians are not happy with the propaganda, the false promises, and all the deceit that is taking place. NDC was in government for 8 years. Everybody saw the work that we did. I was vice president to President Atta Mills. He started working projects all over the place, electrification in this district. When we came into office in Professor Mills' time, there were only 35 communities with electricity. By the time we left in 2016, 300 communities had electricity in this district. We started the free senior high school. NPP said we didn't start it. Recently, the Minister of Education was talking, and he said we left 35 million Ghana cedis free SHS debt for him to come and pay. I thought you said we didn't start free SHS. Now you are saying that we left 35 million Ghana cedis free SHS debt for you to come and pay. But that's the kind of deceit that we are subject to. In politics, people's, let me say it in our local language, our ears sweet us. We want to hear promises. And so I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you. And I know that our opponents are good at promises, but very poor on delivery. For them, their policy is that say anything that the people will believe and vote for you. Political power is the most important thing. And when you get the power, whether you fulfill the promises or not, it doesn't matter. And so, before 2016, one district, one factory, one constituency, $1 million, one village, one dam, one child, one egg. Chocolate for everybody. There was even a promise where the president said he will build 350 new secondary schools in Ghana here. So I was very happy the last time I saw the president talking. And he said this election will be about track records. I said, oh, you were very good.
Wamampanyi dada John Dramani Mahama ensem na emu no so osanso ekwa probo ewo framantemu ene otimantemu ekwa ene adehye ne nananum atenkonya esanso ekokasa na betu dwa se eya de achese NPP amanyokuo no omo entumi emwo manga na ye kwa no mu de so oba aban mu a ode hihya kodo begu akwan mu mo no ankaso mu sampa wabai de waba abetoto niema yi.
You were the police, you were the courts, you were the parliament, you were the executive. If anything happened within your kingdom, let's go to Togbe's palace. And it's Togbe who will deal with the matter. And then colonialists came and divided the continent. And they brought the colonial administration and imposed it on top of our traditional administration. But even the colonialists realized that our chiefs were important. And so they introduced what they call indirect rule. And so they administered this country together with our chiefs. Then the colonialists left and gave us independence. And so we started self-rule with our own constitution. But even still to today, our constitution recognizes the role of chiefs in the administration of this country. But the point I want to make is that, like Togbe said, our citizenship, which is granted by our constitution, says that if any of your ancestors or your grandfather or great-grandfather was a Ghanaian, you are a Ghanaian. And as Togbe said, I know that the people of South Tongue have been resident here from time immemorial, even before Ghana was formed. And Togbe, the most painful thing is to be robbed of your citizenship. And as you talked about stateless people, if you are called a stateless person, it means you have no country. But we all know that we are citizens of this country called Ghana. And if you look at the demographic of this country, we are diverse in our culture and our occupation. If you go to some ethnic group, they are very good farmers. They farm the biggest yam in this country. If you go to another place, they are very good cocoa farmers. They produce the best cocoa. That makes Ghana known for cocoa in the whole world. If you go to another place, they are very good fishermen.
Suku nkodaya eko suku ewo eye school of hygiene edaba betu dwase e wasa aban ni mpanifo etumi ehwe no musika bi ya akamu no omu etumi edmo omu esanse no nam so e ma oye cheche bi pa etumi ekoso wo soafo no na hwa ndie ho nsem so ye no nam so ma postfo so kopie mu okopa mu school fo edifo so mu ye dede dodo no sesi enso ne ba be kasa ede afa ho nsem ahodo ya akwakopie mu sesi o PRO ede ma school of hygiene ya nidin ene ora ando e wa mane so ene no ba betwetwe eye enkomo ora ando mpatwe mu akwaba.
Thank you so many of us.
Bibi aboko de.
Nyame adom ne mpaibo.
Yo, na mpatwa mbra mukopie mu e wo soafo ya ono na hwa ahondie ho nsem so no. Na mukoye oye che de si ono da na postfo na kasa baaye omobeyeye e wo ho.
Medasi ene akonya odi amambe se menka yaseli. Edi kan ne chia ye tiefo yina. Eye edra na pa. Ena yina yakabo mu Eba Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources. Mother ministry. Say 3 years allowance aban enfama ye no ye ba abe piketi na omo de amay after 3 years ya dialogue ye ne amo eti komo ekita woni ade ina ye sanka ye no na ye decide for finally we dey ye beba na ye ba ye no police for any edi nkita ho omo ka say omo kire ye ma ye basa bia na ka kire omo say ye de yampa ne basa ye school for ye ni membra eti ye from emra eti de ye nya ne say ministry no on be my clearance say ye sika no omo de mai eno na ye gi ye mba mbeku ye ni obi anko tokwa eti police depending on the other Mr. Freeman.
Okay.
I catch a say, Australia, Yenya Butre, na Omoba attended to ye. And yet, they are all, Yanya Batabasabia, Yawa to enumerate, and the police in Nankasa catch and say, you see a better hot ya. What's me can tell you on my own coin because after ministry, no, I am other ministry. Enti ni obetumi akacha ya de say e ma ye mpie kwa abonti say you go to aduane e ba ne sa akronfo bi betumi atu ahyen so agi esika na ye phones e na eti na supem no ka say sa na pia dia obekọ na we deploy police for abehwe so sa na jo no say na be ya obi a be wie bibia enti ya dia ya wo wa ye twen a school for the kra down and Sassam way, esi ya omukra 4 to 5 buses. Omubaye.
Okay.
Omubaya omakashi. The only thing omuka say, yan pack any me na into your uncle. Omusasiye at the belt. Any shocker. You see, and your mom would buy ya, omu school for me. I mean, no work as a crowd, omu me a bechi, Max, Edda Medi, Edda Mechi. We embezzle. We embezzle.
Okay.
A tentina as a banisa. A school for a bind to a cat. Young Cobocrono. Yes, Jessica were buying home at the school fees. I try a exam. Every school was with him. As from my antipony. Yeah, anything. I'll say police for the shocker. Monday belts, buye, SCZ, and Yama, Menon can say, you need to be a mattress, and Yama now. Let's go for the keys. And walk bags more or Muti, as it here, Menon can say, a binum at the 5-6 in a room, COVID-19 era. Elsa Banasa, on my ya woman, Emra, a piece, Emra, and Brandon, school for Benny by yeah, Obian Crasican, Obian craft na, Obian craft weapon, unarmed students. It's a pan saying, and a police for ya fam will say, Mum boy and hopine, Namu boy, one the pen, yeah, one the pen. It's in an ado, yes, sir. On my Simuya decides no my baby. A baby. Yeah, day. I think preventive medicine and we know my immune.
Ora Ando. Hello.
Mommy, yes.
Mpatwa na mu hu oswafo ya no na hwe apomden hu nsem so na ye die hu nsem so sanitation yeah.
Oswafo no de ye hu no. Because Andra ye hu no. Chief director no na Andra. Obaye e no de penifo no ye penifo ina ehia ye. Na enkomo Omoka from 3 years ago, come on the same thing, and Omoka chain. Then on the 6th of August,
okay. On
the 6th of August, yeah, by a second, and I'm sure Omoji, your data be PR finance ministry. Eti Omoba clearance, it's almost say young co. And I have friend, deputy minister of finance. No, look at Ampa. Omo at the letter back. Eti or your wage, but unfortunately. Wakon the constituency are all koyani ID card. It's young train the following Monday. Na yapa. Yabe clearance. Following Monday soon, yeah, your friend, you need book appointment. Not you. a common on here one obet me a catch of phone. Now, I say, sanitation ministry no at the letter mom so muntia.
Okay.
But on man say budget beyond count. And how can the finance ministry give us clearance? While budget is not allocated to the letter.
Okay.
And now, Deputy Minister of Finance can say, "You will be young back to the sanitation ministry." And no more can say, "No more finance budgeting." And you start there, you see, Canada, you sanka. It's back to sanitation ministry. And the chief director and catcher say, "I'm let no more the call you no budgeting count." Now, who didn't say? Letter would you want a budget account that we finance agency? The ban is saying, and I wouldn't let a budget account. And now I must see a form a committee. Now I'm a person form a committee, now students account. Send the praise, ask them 3 years in almost as some worker. And then a student in the say, Rabbi, yes. It's a student for the no way you say, I'm about to say they are fine. It's not a address students, you know. And about out there addressing student body. And the student is almost here. Because I'm not that diet. It's just a car here. One pen I was at the will.
Ora ando na sesi anso no sempenifo am first cano amamo then em next take amobeye.
Oh, well, one of the things I say, yes, try exams. Yeah, and yeah, final exams. You bet sure because me no work say. Fact, baby, I mean, me walk to see a school of hygiene Kolebu Accra. Students are multi-physical, more than 30,000 Ghana cedis, and are multi-physical. School is soon yet fees, you know, at the around school. Many school in that, Skabia, or my home. Yes, soon as I try and fashion a quiz. It's a bad me first, and me metro me exams are quite BB, ain't a big show. Because once you went to your fees now, won't you make your exam? I'm going to get first come and put your fees. Now, your exams so quite. Wait, a booby wait, one day I anything.
Okay. You. No, Rando, Sikahin also buying at the mammo.
Well, so far, yeah, program, no, a 3 years program and 2 years. Your diploma and certificate. Okay. Certificate for no, a 20 months, and also at the moment. In every year, no, a 10 months, and I buy it here. Okay. The diploma for no, so we say 400 cedis times 29. That means almost 8,000. Nipa bako. And yes, Nipa bako 8,000. And diploma for me because of 3 years in it, you know, I had 30 months, you know, it will be 12,000 each. Okay. And now, okay, 3 schools of hygiene. I want the whole Ghana and Boma. Yadro and 2 over college and 2 college students. Cry, 1,132. The whole 3 schools of hygiene. Yadro. Yo. Okay. Ora ando that's it. So je brand na etwetwe enkomo. That's it. Yo. Adeshmama na PRO Edma School of Hygiene ene no etwetwe eye enkomo ni din ene Augustus ando ene no etwetwe eye enkomo o kire ka aban ene ni penifo ede no mo kwakwaje musika nso asanso abro mo discipline mo papa ebiri mo pa de mu oden asanso ede account mo sem penifo so musika no o de mo abro mo wi a mo sanso fo musika ensanso enka ho enfa mo sanso we de enya de achese etumi etwe ye ho me kase no so ni ntwe ho bra ye ba ye be sanso ato aso bio.
Diamond beautiful. Every name is secret. I don't cook must never cook. I'm going to be a bad. Every dinner, Senegal, Nigeria, Togo, London, Germany, and no one will be a conwasem. Now, one was to go for the body, or we talk a sea bakua, and one was semester in different sizes. And yet, I was a good ticket, and what was saying, yet the natural ingredients, honey, shea butter, cocoa butter, vegetable oil, about in different fragrances. It is a lemon, I will pet, heaven, I will pet, and not apple, and coma obia.
Yes, ma'am, you need to
I am making sure said diamond logo no edaho. Diamond beauty so I'm more Friday.
Keep yourself and your whole family safe with mobile disinfectant spray. It contains hypochlorous acid, which makes it safe for everyone, including babies. Eliminate harmful bacteria or viruses on and around you by disinfecting your airspace. Simply spray into the air or use in your hands to keep them clean. When you are with friends, disinfect your airspace. At work with your colleagues, disinfect your airspace. Even when hanging out with family, disinfect your airspace. It can also be applied in the kitchen, on doorknobs, anywhere, anytime, and by anyone. Disinfect your airspace with mobile disinfectant spray.
Coming to Normal Estate and Construction Limited is like coming to a place where your dream is going to be realized. If you come to Normal Estate and Construction Limited, we have a lot of services for you. And here are some of the services we have for you. We have lands for sale. I mean, if I say lands for sale, litigation-free lands for sale. If you come here, we have lands in Amasaman, we have in Kaswa, we have in Sawam, we have in Dodowa, Pram, Chopoli, where actually we are having all the litigation-free lands for you. Even if you come in, we have houses also being sold. We have houses being sold at Abokobi. We have some in Kotoku, MIDDAY, and even the place where you want your land or your house to be located, you just give us a call. We can just go to the site, locate for the property, make a search on it. If you were secured, we call you to come in for it. Our main priority is to make you secured in Accra, because we all know what is happening when it comes to lands and properties in Accra.
Original Koyo Enterprise. Oya nkrankran. Ejumekuo. Mo weni so ade hunu se mo pese mo ye nsu adwuma yi bi. Ene me kamfo Original Koyo Enterprise ena amawo. Original Koyo Enterprise etu borehole. Yesiesie borehole. Yesansu blow boreholes ni mu edemawo. Wetu borehole no ama emu nsuo nyina ye nchini nsuo. Ema ohwe ho. Ye we fidie bi a ye frɛ no reverse osmosis machine. Ye de be yi enchini ni nyina efiri nsuo ni mu. Ama na ye krogen ede amawo. Ye ton pure water machines, water filters. Ye wo borehole pumping machine, surface pumping machine, afi pure water and water system accessories nyina nso ye wo bi wo ho. Ye wo engineers omo akwadre won nsu adwuma yi mu omo abeba aba be fix machine na ma be bibiada wo bia se ba no boreholes apapa dia. Original Koyo Enterprise e your last stop.
Mama mesanso emwakwa bas biem edeba eye Green TV so ewia prem to break KASEƐ na mguso American kan ede ema we ko Facebook Green TV Ghana no wa like na wa share na fufu enya bi nhweye no omo nso etumi ahwe ko YouTube nso a Green TV Ghana na nyina no o hweye nyema hodo ye de akwakogu wo se ne ebe ya behu sampa Green TV yaba ne papa mu sa eho meto akase ne so biem asanso ede ama wo dia Ghana Health Service impenifo ede ba betu dwa se stakeholders we nyina mo sori waka esan se ade September boss ne da ye dikan wo mfimpinu ne eduनु aba mu no ade so ma behwe ama bibia etumi akonkan we mu hyan ba behwe ase etumi aye adwuma wo man Ghana mu ha sent mu nyina mo sori waka se ne be ya obi adwe mu hyan etu kwan na se oba o metumi aso no mo se coronavirus ne bi adokro no anato se ebi entumi endokro ne ye
August ne de to so dunsia e won fimpim nu ene adwonumu e na Ghana mampanyin na AKUFO-ADDO ejina simpie ene apasode nsem ahodo etudwa na ne nsem kayemu no enyoma ahodo a epiemu enyina ne se oni mpanyufo eye nhyehyeye se ne be ya September ne de to so baako e won fimpim nu ene adwonumu no omo behye se wiemu hyan bia ya ahodo no mbetumi abie se ne be ya kwani abedie efi obi man so eba oman Ghana mu ha no ebetumi akosototin ede amomo enumu na Ghana Health Service GHS mpanyufo enso dia babetu dwa se ade omo bepe stakeholders ahodo ede eginegina ho anaso mbepe omo ede omaba airport honum se ne be ya obi a ofi obi man so eba ho anase obi mpa ofi Ghana hanum se ede nani echem ewo obi man so no omo behye se omo bepe akade ahodo ede hye ne widie mu ahye se COVID-19 moawa no ebi ewom anase ebi nim ansana omo ahye se nipa kroi ombema ne kwan amanako anase ombema ne kwan amanaba emransem twerefo ene Director General ya ono eneda GHS Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaje agiche nkomo no ne nsema okan ebi ene se ade oni ne mpanyufo omo betena se akwa asetena na omo de hyehye ahodo egu akwan so se ne be ya Ghana mampan ani so ade hunu se September ne de to so baako no obekoso abie airport se ne be ya adwuma anase sika sembe konkan ade amommanfo nanso so na eno nso so ebesan so abo amommanfo makwakodi obi man so no omo so betumi di omani atrem ewo Ghana hanum se no ade asan hyehye ni nyina no omo behye no madi so se ne be ya obi efi obi man so akọ no obi eton ne nyoma ene nyoma bi etisa no enkoba ne se ye bie borders anase ye bie wiem hyan bi aye no ama COVID-19 moawa no etete ni hyema no so ebekakofo ha foforo ede abra omanfo na emum ayade omo behye ama bibia akosototin se ne be ya ye di ejuma ahodo no na ye sanso ebo ye ho ban ede afi COVID-19 yarebonye emu
Adehye bi mu ya edon GUTA eda ba betu dwa se kamera se bi mu efi omukro mu aba oman Ghana mu ha ya so madwuma ya omudi on pese omoje edi fam nsem nu nam so mampanyifo etimi akokopie ho ede nema eba betoto akwam si na be asumde mapa ebetumi aba ewo ho no mu Ghana Union of Trade Association Pennyfo edaba betu dwa se adehye bi mu ya wo Eastern Region omo nte omo ho ase ese nkofo bi mu etumi efi omukro mu aba be adwuma ewo man Ghana mu amom adwuma etumi elbo omo sina dwonso elbo akokọ no ya de asansem nyina no mo nhwe no mo ntutu nyema yi omo betu nyema yi kama ede amom mo nto munya abotre na bibibia pennyfo epese omo ye ede mo no bibia entumi enkonkan enumu ena pennyfo esanso di chom kase bi mu se ada nko bebe na ekeka se sesi ane de ekame aso mo fe omukro mu ababe adwuma ewo hono no na omo mfa kwan paso emfa anya aso adwuma no kwa no mpeso omukom adwuma na chese oman Ghana fo de wankasa yetemamuni na oman Ghana mu hase no na obi fini kromu eba beje ewo adwuma ade fi wonsam enomu ena penipa ya ono eneda Ghana Union of Trade Association ya ni din ene ora Dr. Joseph Oben Edbetu Dwase osre adehye so munyina emto omobo omunya botoye mo esansa ban ene penifo ebehwe amane amentime ho ase basbasa bia entumi emba to behwe matoto nyema yi sene be ya obi enkonkose obi nema anaso se obi nkoya nyema bi ema ne ho entumi nchina na so nkopie ewo eye aban ekukumu
betia bia rehye mu ekwohye presidential task force no emu na ya ni trade minister akasa mo aboya no ho wa me assurance say this time round we be making sure say task force na comprise with the interagencies no wo ebe yo mo adwuma said esise na no na yenso ye ne members akasa te said mu hu ha no say omo enya abotre na government task force no enye na adwuma said ese nti ye watwen yemu a ye hwe ye didi ye say ebe ye adwuma this time round na emom no mo ye centrefo so mo behu said amanfo ebufusio esitie a te say ekoye asudi ema sa task force you say so omantimi deliver there ene obi na ekumantwi pese buasi akọ ene dignity agi atrema te say womo akantam say ekwan bia so no womo nsem fata so mbedi dwa ewo yedwa so no wombetu omso sa nti yepese ye no ekwan so enkofa oye ne bia mbadia ene na task force na committee no womo nyire womo na sade omampani ahye womo so womo nyomo adwuma no womo di pepe yo ebeto de da ye na ye nyi efa hudi
yeti ase enyeyi den ti ase enyeyi ne se ade nti yeti omam ne Nigeria for edi dwa free ensem KOFORIDUA isi hoje yeti ase enyeyi So come say, I didn't atema a yetudin, abana say ho ho mentrudin. Yes, we ho sabe ni ni say dwano. Emla ento be emlada because yes sir aban no. Yes sir na AKUFO-ADDO ni dim say yes sir no KOFORIDUA for ye bre. Ye ni abre pa. Ye fe ni agro. Because I don't know I 1 cedi. I will say 1 cedi. I didn't know I find 1 cedi. Na better 1 cedi. Ye ni gasa. It yes sir aban no. Nigeria for ni de yes rom ye nka se moment na Ghana ye ni sa kwanya no ba ye dwade na momoni e ko na bumper to bumper no de ye ti ase enye yi
machofo aye wo gu ho no machofo aye pa obagu ho no because once me dey can say the whole world upo mo ma bribe pa e yalatafo enti se empanifo no kwaye kokwa asabi yes o mo pese o mo ma o mo kata ne ma so de a ene ye be ma ye nkrofo no so yi o mo ho machofo no Yan kasa de mrana ebe se yensem tietia
wonu so say China for na bi so retail niama no instead say omo betu niama na mayen no omo retail eninti onu retail a price no ofam wo de awosoro eninti ji omo niama san ansa na wo ya start to wo de mako and also another challenger aban enhwe
Dom anu boaboafo edema NPP amanyoko ne ya ni din ene ora sami ewuku edaba betu dwase si ade omo percent fimpinu ene edunu abato ne de omankasa NPP amanyoko no etumi edi enkunanu ntino wakwakofa members ni bi be se eduanan baako se betumi abo atoto ne meyi se ne be ya fimpinu edunu abato ne de NPP amanyoko no ebetumi edi nkunim
eba amanyosem any vote asemo you have to work for every vote. You're taken for granted. You're not for any parliamentary candidate. Titru you're parliamentary candidate are maybe 2 sitting members of parliament. You're the small one near the job. Campaign amoye no mano ede. Party for nya rishi unsusu omumu. Nti mo ba momo na you vote no nkosro. Enye se wa ba ba gi awie as parliamentary candidate no. You be frɛ no na phone no switch off. Yabefra no mini constituency between now and December there my constituency ni wasem here now was so vote out be brain another dan AKUFO-ADDO ne NPP amanyoko no so okay yes so mre ni sudu a da bia no bedu no ne yes so yakayo ne to so bia so ye how our party no campaign ne niema ebisifa akọ ebasa abato bremu eno no mi wi a director for elections so enemo be go through Nipa ye pawom anase ye yi so beda the regional campaign team ya no enye se adwuma no monko na mo baba be ye na mum ombeboa no ma supervise ayete se kwantrefo a ombeda ne dane se na ye nyuma no be sifa akọ ewo appointment mu ha wo mo so no afuto so de be mo ne se adwuma na edin ba se waje atum so beboa ye nko ade se onya abotre na onya mre na de beboa ye sebe imprediasa uni adaje ayenje beye esanse beye ye di tu enti se odi tu nse ubetu nko ade se onya ho adaje saa so na be waje atum so be boa yen ama ye na na so no yetimi a prosecute the campaign e wo eastern region ha
Eastern region there were often constituencies here there be there kasa krebi na 2020 elections media me fa na say asudie bi edameso asudie so ko bi edameso kire say that's a boy was 2020 elections MP yedu enti kakra bia e wo say meye se party ba minkwati minpupumiti na me hwe ye hia sam ye hia de e wo eastern region ha na come here say often constituency hia boa e don na mashase a me boa all the orphans in the country asudi kese da won they have a major role to play in 2020 na sebe yes say baako for
ne nsa enkata nyame ni ena ba akufo so nkyere damfo kakra metimi aya aboa zede macha motorbikes ena fei all orphan constituencies may posters 1,000 for each of the candidates. Yes, so some kakra munso behe na peja entina ende me say omo posters dey motorbikes for the orphan constituencies no munso munye na munfa nkwaye adwuma se ne ebeya kakra bia ekaye ebetimi asofo na ya woni sa
c'est des prières il veut dire comment c'est comme ça ni a compris ni nya e marko a chain afie twem fie ali mesina yeah got what I say il vient à marko a tensa leadership presence any na me na wa yesu se enipa japa wo nso no omina so de anka sonko beboa amedumedi e dese na so ebe yes every day
MC Edma Klowo abato empeswa so ya ni din eni ora Joshua ni bote edaba betu dwase mfimpinu eni edunu abato e de Ghana fo nyina enso waka ne ento aba enfama NPP amanyoko ne sanso mo de omuhwehwehwe mo metumi abo adwuma ye papa po metumi aboa emo man Ghana yetumi akoyenim
Aban krache pani Edma Klowo abato empeswa so ya ni din eni Joshua ni bote na wadna nu den sema betu dwa nyina na sema kan se party achidifo ne nyina ne omanfo ye tete krowo abato ampeso aso no wane nhwe pa ese obetimi ato aba de aboa eye oman Ghana empuntu obreko a yetim eko akwakoye asetena na Ghana yetim akwakoto aba de ayi aman emra hyebedwafo ene emampani ahodo oman Ghana mu na ne kase mu no de to aso chem bio se wohwe omanfo ahodo ye tete krowo abato ampeso no so wona hunu eye empuntu nyuma pa eba ne social interventions se aban ne ejina mu de ama omanfo ne wayi ohawo kase ahodo ye de da wono so de frifri wono ko mu no wohwe omampani na nado dam KASEƐ ene emra hyebedwane de ma omanfo ya owo krowo abato ampeso aso ye ne din ene woni munyamfo Elizabeth Afulekwe na wohwe wona adwuma ahodo ye wo bo obreko a wode ba beje tumi mu a woni bu pa de a na chese enema atimi akonkan pa ede ama eye krowofo ya empuntuo de wane fa ne kwakura afenso wasahye mabuna hodo ye wo mansine ni mu enne abato mpeso so ni nyina se wane hwe se obi ba se wode wano kwakodi animu se atutrasem ensem asabe na ensem fata ewo abato emu a wane betimi atwe wane ho ede afiri ho se ba ne se ye kwakoto aba wane betimi ato aban asumdwe mu se baya enema ebetumi akọ ayenenim enumu eno de sansemi eba betudwa Enuachi ena former assembly member Edma Klowo abato empeso aso ya ne din woni munyamfo Joseph Oakley Ablochiri Odai Junior ya wano ate ne ho de afri NDC amonyokuo ne mu enani akire mu ewo NPP amonyokuo ne mu wono so ne Green TV amane bofo etwetwe nkomo ewo sa anamontuo ni nti a watwe ne ho de afri sa amonyokuo no emu
This is a man who has reflected, he has moved camp, Wabekaya, NDC, and young Kakitua, he was the propaganda secretary for the constituency bureau, he was working for regions, he was working for national. He has seen the light, one who can hear baby, he has seen the truth. One who is Duma after the year, one who is Duma and another year, and that's the money what by year. So he has come to our fold to make sure to work with us as a team, work with us for Afro to win 2020 in the war, and then another to win 2020 also in the war, and then Ghana. As I heard security, BPR make us very nice. it's going to be a peaceful election. Who say registration will crew or have it's a signal, it's a sign, say elections are going to be these are our issues. As some idea why idea
oh yeah, the man when he commits, he does it. And when he does it, we see it. So such a person on trying to so what is the name? Former President John Mahama. And then I say what do you call it? What do you call it? Project. One study. Already over 8 years now. On to me, yeah, I've been over here. Also about to assemblyman car. About 2 hours. Now about distance can wipe. Because assemblyman will be a teacher and now assemblyman or your civil servant. Where are you going to take the money to pay the person again? You can do it. So I'm telling the people of Ghana, say, Mr. Rawam, let's go with Nana AKUFO-ADDO because of cow, yeah. And this is what I want to tell you people.
Adishmamba yentwe hombra ye ba obi manso. Siadeni eche obi manso dia ene na Michelle Obama edaba betu dwa se Donald Trump nyama hodo ye oye ewe US man mu nya de etumi ekoyi ekra esan sama yesa US man no ase akwa bibie ho nti se de futu akọ so mo nhwe no mo so waka na bibi papa bia entumi enso embra emfa emomo.
Omampanyi dada yire edema United States of America Michelle Obama den sembia babetuja ane nsema hodo kan enyina ne se ekama ese mprempren omampanyi a ono eti akonyo kesie mu Donald Trump ne nyoma a oye nyina no sebi enheda mfa kwemesa nse se wo hye nyoma hodo ne ntutu ya hodo a odi egu akwan so a ono Donald Trump ne hu ne se ade a odi bo omanfo no ono Michelle Obama de hu ne se ni nyina no emfaso bia eniso odi sasem we nyina etuja emra na Mr. Biden ade ababetuja se na bedi echire eye Senator Kamala eno enena meno so enefuansi echi ono nso ade sansem yi ababetuja se Donald Trump de ne nyoma hodo a oye ni nyina no na chese nukure bia enim enya ade a ogin omanfo ho ni tisiru omo ye tuntumekire ebibrefo no ekama se papai wachi na ni ade afifi omo so achese wo ye fita anase wo ye obi a wo ye ni krom ni a no pe eno ne mum sekoba ne se wo kale eye tuntum dia ne papai wachi na ni ade ama wo anisa amane bon eto aso se eyade omabato no ebekoso ewo November de to so miensa ewo mfimpim nu ene aduonum nanso so enam coronavirus atiete se ewo ho no enamene so mampanyimfo ehwe se omo betumi aye ne sa anase omo betu da no ede ahye eda foforo ewo United States of America manimu.
Yasanso edieni echemu ewa Mozambique mine emu akame yase san de bambo entumi enkoyi emfa momuti dandanya no na nkofa na 18 na nanom ewo nse mpanifo bi sei nkofo bi mo ena chese ehya ase ama chese san nema wei etumi ekoso ewo Mozambique mine emu. Siadieni echemu ewa Mozambique mine emu a omda ba betu dwa se kame se dandanya no na nipa bonifo bi afakuti kwanso eba beku omo amometi nanom ewo nse do na sa nipa bonifo ekuo ya omususu so omodon eye alus na wajama eno musu san kwofo we edon eho enumu no msan betu dwa bi mu se ase dandanya na nkwofo we ekunkum omokronfo no mo hyehyehye omodan ewo honom omohwema enya ade achese etumi eboa ebehun sa no no nkwofo bese 1000 bebre na ena chese omuni efiefiem esese sankofo bonifo yi akwakwahyehyehye omodan asanso ejo monkwa ede afi omonsamu enumu na mpanifo de betu dwa se kame se ase bambo sonko enhyeda eni Mozambique man emu ena nam so mankofo dandanya omu se tokro bi aba beto ho a na chese mafakoti kwanso aba ho aba beku monkrofo amometinanum ewonsedo sanso so no mafiefie nso no omasanso aba beje ede efi omho enu na mpanifo da beto je so adon ba behwe ama bambo sonko etumi aba esanse sene nyama etifa eko ewo honom no enya ade achese etumi bo ye kwakrakra esanse nyama hodo ye ekoso no omani entumi enje ho. Adeshimama KASEƐ no esi na nsembia besomo ebi ene se omampanyi na nado dankwa AKUFO-ADDO ne dey wahye aproba ase ewo oman Ghana mu asanso so eno omampanyi da John Mani Mahama ede babetu dwa se omampanyi na nado dankwa AKUFO-ADDO ne na ban de na chese dan de nya bohye nko a ena omohye eye oman Ghana as a promise na mguso eto so eye omadwuma ewo hon musa wei ene nsem na afu pembe so mo se ewia prem to bre KASEƐ ewo Green TV so na KASEƐ nyumeko ye so ya sen Magvin industry omo na chese etumi eso ya sen o sanitizer papa ya dachi bi nkofa oye ne bia emfa brother misraw fo wani eche omakache esanse mobile hand sanitizer aba ewo adwama so na alcoholic base as alcohol base ewo mu no best 80% ena chese ewo mu ho na etumi kumwawa best 99.9% a eno behu se nema hodro ebetumi akonkan ede amawo enti tutumika na kotobi fama wodofo wo mma ukunu mo oyire na efiofo nyina so entumi enya bi na asan de bi befa wonsa ho no o de fa wonsa ho o de befa kosi se eho ebetumi awose tredwen ede ama wo na bibia etumi akonkan ede ama wo na o pedodo etu a obetumi epuso omo e o mabofo eso 0244 650 893 anaso se 0277 554219 obetumi so epuso omo biem 0244 650 939 0277 554219 na chese open mobile hand sanitizer obetumi afrefro mo na wetumi akwakwaje ode esanse se woje na sa wudi jujuma bibia betumi akonkan ede ama wo pese ode pepa onema ho so a na onya bi edigu tissue mu anasa ntuma bi mu no na we spray bi na wetumi de gu nkwala e wo fie remote ni TV ni nyina so no na wetumi apapa ni nyina ho se ne ebe ya umma no enkotiti coronavirus bi anasa ya biara entumi emfa bo mo aba ede ama wo so oman Ghana ye ho ebetumi ahan tutudumika na kwana kwaje wo de esanse no betumi abo ye papa ama wetumi akonkan ewo abrabon coronavirus ndi abade na so otumi ebo wo ho ene ofiefo eho ban ede efiri ho obutantim na nabna adepa MIDDAY me enamde awia prem to bre KASEƐ no eba ebesom na mesom mo so mpade mada wase mama omo ene hwe makrawo